Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. From the street today, Bank of America resets inflation prediction ahead of CPI. That's right, guys. For a bunch of agencies that are supposed to be closed, the deep state is going to manage to squeak out this inflation reading on Friday just 5 days ahead of the Fed's rate decision. You see how that works? From the article, Wall Street and Main Street are wringing their hands over the next inflation update from the Bureau of Labor Statistics on October 24th. The BLS's monthly consumer price index is a major inflation measure that could sway the likelihood that the Fed Reserve cuts interest rates when it meets on October 29th. The last CPI data from August weren't overly reassuring. It showed headline inflation increased to 2.9%, due mainly to recently instituted tariffs. Of course it was. That's because it has to be Trump's fault. For comparison, the CPI reading in April, before most of President Trump's tariffs went into effect, showed inflation of 2.3%. Guys, do you know under Biden, we hit 9% year over year, the highest since 1981, so the highest in 40 years. Inflation outpaced wages for 26 straight months, but we can't mention that here. The September CPI print is particularly anticipated because its release was delayed due to the government shutdown. So it lands just ahead of the Fed's policy-making FOMC meeting, providing one of the last bits of information that could determine whether Fed officials think inflation is getting out of hand. Ahead of the CPI report, Wall Street firms, including Bank of America, are updating their inflation predictions. B of A's latest number crunching suggests that prices likely moved up again in September, but only slightly. Year over year, headline and core inflation should be little changed at 3 and 3.1% respectively. The uptick in headline inflation to 3% from 2.9 year over year is somewhat softened by their expectation that core inflation, which strips away volatile food and energy, remained unchanged from August. So get ready, guys. CPI is coming out Friday. Now Uncle Frank is going to add a couple comments about the trade war. U.S. trade deficit narrows sharply in April. Imports post record drop. Trade deficit fell by a record amount in April as demand dropped for imports. U.S. tariff take helps trim 2025 deficit to $1.78 trillion. U.S. tariff revenues hit record highs in 2025. Throughout 2025, numerous companies announced new manufacturing facilities, particularly in the semiconductor, pharmaceutical, and energy sectors. Let me show you some since the financial press won't. Under pharmaceuticals and biotech, Eli Lilly is building a $6.5 billion API facility in Texas and a $5 billion biologics plant in Virginia. Johnson & Johnson is investing in a new facility in Holly Springs, North Carolina. AbbVie is expanding API production in Illinois and building a new facility in North Chicago. Genentech is breaking ground on a new facility in North Carolina and planning another. Amgen is expanding drug production with a new investment in the U.S. Roche is investing billions in new and existing R&D and manufacturing facilities in the U.S. Merck opening a $1 billion vaccine manufacturing facility in North Carolina, and I think another in Delaware. Biocon is opening its first U.S. generics facility in New Jersey. How about under automotive and tech? Hyundai completed a large-scale manufacturing plant in Georgia. Apple announced a $500 billion investment in U.S. facilities. Toyota started production at a new automotive battery plant in North Carolina. Corning invested in new facilities in Michigan and New York. Taiwan Semiconductor is expanding its U.S. investment to $165 billion for AI advancements. Global Foundries establishing a new center in New York. Samsung planning to build an advanced semiconductor fab in Texas. Fab means fabrication plant, guys. And DMR Tech establishing a drone facility in Louisiana. Stick with me, guys. I don't care if you love Trump or you hate him. You should know the upside to the trade war, not just the downside. Under food and consumer goods, Mars is opening its largest global dry pet food factory in Ohio. GE investing $300 million in its Louisville, Kentucky headquarters for a new washer plant. Lilly Foods opening a new manufacturing facility in Lubbock, Texas. Paris Baguette building its first North American manufacturing plant also in Texas. Hershey opening a new Reese's chocolate processing facility in Pennsylvania. Farmina opening its first U.S.-based manufacturing facility in North Carolina. Clayson Quality Chocolate opening a new manufacturing facility in Virginia, and Bauduco Foods is breaking ground on a new facility in Florida. Other notable mentions include ArcelorMittal, who's building a new electrical steel facility in Alabama. Emirates Global Aluminum is planning to build the first new U.S. primary aluminum production plant since 1980 in Oklahoma. Stellantis announced a $13 billion investment to expand its U.S. manufacturing. I haven't even mentioned data center investment yet, have I? How do you think this presentation would have went if this nut job Kamala Harris was running your country? Go ahead, answer honestly in the comments. I dare you. You get the facts on this show no matter what your politics are. Now, Trump affirmed that he would meet with Xi this month on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, which is a grouping of 21 economies. Beijing has not announced any plans for Xi to make the trip to South Korea, but it's not unusual for such details to emerge closer to the travel date. Listen, I want my subscribers to know I don't like everything this guy does or the way he does it, but I will say this. This trade war was long overdue. We're going to need these jobs from all this investment and reshoring of manufacturing like the desert needs the rain. I don't think anyone else could have done this except for Trump. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.